Buddhang Vandami Bante. Dhammang Vandami Bante. Sanghang Vandami Bante. Brothers and sisters, we are indeed very blessed to have Bante with us tonight. Without further ado, I humbly and respectfully invite Bante to deliver his sermon. Bante.
Good evening. Good evening, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is the first time I come to this center. This being a new center, to give a talk. Is it loud enough? No. Hello. Okay. Tonight the topic is the Buddha's meditation. And I start by saying that in one or two suttas, the Buddha said, where the Aryan Eightfold Path is found, there the four types of Aryans are found. So it is by practicing the Aryan Eightfold Path that we become an Arya. In other words, the only way to get out of samsara is the Aryan Eightfold Path. If you look at later books, they will say different things. Like they say there are 84,000 Dhamma doors. But unfortunately, these Dhamma doors, if you go, will lead you into not only the wrong path, it will lead you into the drain, into the pothole and all that. So we have to be very clear that only the Noble Eightfold Path is the path taught by the Buddha. Now, there is a sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya 117 where it is explained exactly how to practice the Aryan Eightfold Path. And in that sutta, the Buddha says that the Aryan Eightfold Path should be entered through right view. There's only one door to enter the Aryan Eightfold Path, right view. And it is also stated that after you get right view, that will bring you, right view is samadhi, that will bring you to right thoughts, samma sankappa. And that will bring you to right speech, samavacha. And then that will bring you to right action, sammakamanta. And then after that will bring you to right livelihood, samma ajiva, and then later that will bring you to right effort, samma vayama, and that will bring you to right mindfulness, samma sati, and that will bring you to right concentration, samma samadhi. So that is how the Aryan Eightfold Path is practiced. So the most important thing is to get right view. And this is confirmed by another sutta in the Satipatthana Sangyutta. There was a monk who wanted to go off and live alone. So he came to the Buddha for last minute instructions. And the Buddha actually wanted to explain the four Satipatthana to him. But the Buddha said, purify the very starting point of wholesome states. And what is the starting point of wholesome states? The Buddha said, sila that is pure, and view that is straight. In other words, we have to have good sila, good moral conduct, and right view. View that is straight is right view. So you see also here that before you start embarking on this path to cultivate wholesome states and get rid of unwholesome states, you have to go on sila and right view. But we see in the suttas, there are some cases of some people who don't have sila, but because they have right view, they can enter the stream. For example, once the Buddha spoke to 120,000 people. These people had never seen the Buddha. They had never heard the Dhamma. That was not long after the Buddha was enlightened. And all 120,000 of them attained stream entry. Another time, 80,000 people came to see the Buddha, also for the first time. And the Buddha preached to them basically on the 4 Aryan truths. And also all 80,000 attained stream entry. Another glaring case is Angulimala. Angulimala, he killed hundreds of people as a bandit. But because he had this potential, the Buddha went to him and must have taught him the Dhamma. And then soon after hearing the Dhamma from the Buddha, he decided to become a monk. So you see, once you attain right view, a direction in life changes. That is a mark of a person who has attained stream entry. No more interested in worldly success, name and fame, wealth and all that. So these 2 cases you can see that right view is the very beginning. Now, once you get right view, it is called stream entry. And in the Samyutta Nikaya 55.5, Suttapati Samyutta, the Buddha said, stream entry, the stream refers to the Aryan Eightfold Path. So when you enter the Aryan Eightfold Path, you attain stream entry, and that is the first path attainment. So we want to know how to get right view so that we attain stream entry. In the Majjhima Nikaya 43, it is said there are 2 conditions for right view: the voice of another and focus attention as you listen. Only 2 conditions. So basically these 2, the voice of another teaching you the Dhamma. When you hear the Dhamma, you have to digest it, understand it. If somebody teaches you the Dhamma in a foreign language where you cannot understand, it's impossible for you to attain stream entry. You must understand. So, when you listen to the Dhamma, we are contemplating what the speaker is saying. We are trying to digest. That basically is Vipassana. Because in Vipassana contemplation, there are 4 objects: the body, feelings, mind, and Dhamma. Of these 4 objects, Dhamma is the most important. Dhamma is the one that brings us stream entry. Dhamma is also the one that creates many arahants. We find in the suttas and the Vinaya, the first 1,060 arahants that was mentioned, the first 1,060 arahant disciples of the Buddha, all of them attained arahanti by listening. Because the Buddha had this psychic eye, he looked for people who had attained the 4th jhana. So, for example, he went to 1,000 Jatilas, matted hair ascetics. They were worshippers of fire. They have no respect for the Buddha. But the Buddha went to them just as an ordinary ascetic, stayed with them several weeks and showed psychic powers. They also had psychic powers, that's why the leader thought that he was an Arahant. But the Buddha showed psychic powers so great that they became convinced that his cultivation was much better. So when he earned their respect, then only the Buddha told the leader, he said, Kassapa, you keep thinking you're an Arahant, but you are not an Arahant. And you are not walking the path to become an Arahant. So there was a slap in his face. He was so much respected. Here somebody is telling him he's not an Arahant at all. So he knew the Buddha's meaning, the message. He asked the Buddha to be his disciple. So the Buddha accepted him. And then all the 999, when they saw, they also shaved off their hair and became disciples of the Buddha. Once they became disciples of the Buddha, then only the Buddha spoke the Dhamma to them. Listening to one discourse only, all 1,000 attained arahanthood. So it is not listening to the Dhamma alone that brings you stream entry. That brings you only stream entry. Every stage of the Aryahood, if your mind is clear enough, when you listen, you will attain. A person without any jhana and listens to the Dhamma and understands, he can attain stream entry and then become a Sotapanna. Another person with the first jhana or second or the third jhana, if he listens to the same Dhamma, he can become a Sakadagami. A person with the 4 jhanas, if he listens to the same Dhamma, he can become an Anagamin or an Arahant. So the level you attain of Aryahood depends on the clarity of your mind, which is depending on the jhana state you have achieved. So after a person attains right view, he understands the Dhamma and then he starts to practice. And once you have right view, you will not automatically have right thoughts. Yes or not? Because if you have right view, then that will get rid of the wrong views, and then whatever you think, your view is straightened, so your thoughts also are straightened, so you have right thoughts. Then after that, because of right view and right thoughts, you will also have right speech. What you talk, because whatever comes out of your mouth, you have to think first. After we think, then only we say. That is why if you have right thoughts, you will have right speech. And because of right view and right thoughts, you will automatically also have right action. And because of right speech and right action, you will also have right livelihood. You will not harm other beings. So you find, after you get right view, the other 4 will automatically come, will follow after some time. So for example, somebody like Angulimala, who used to kill hundreds of people, once he listens to the Dhamma and he attains right view, became a monk, then his sila becomes pure. So you see, from right view, you have right thoughts, then right speech, right action, and right livelihood. The last 3, right speech, right action, and right livelihood is sila. Because our Noble Eightfold Path or Aryan Eightfold Path can also be said to be sila, samadhi, and panya. So, right speech, right action, and right livelihood is sila. So once you get right view, you will automatically develop pure sila. That's why the Buddha said the very starting point of wholesome states is right view and pure sila. Now after that, as a person continues to practice, we come to Bhavana. Bhavana, a lot of people translate it or say that it means meditation. That is not correct. It means more than just meditation. Bhavana means development. If you look into the Pali dictionary, you'll find bhavana means development. You can also say cultivation. In Chinese, we can say xiu xing. So, these last three factors of the Aryan Eightfold Path is right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Yeah. Now, this word bhavana, where do we find it in the suttas? Is in the three ways of getting married, punya. If we want to get kong tak, these are the three ways. Sila, adana, sila, and bhavana. Yeah. Dana is the easiest to do. Chinese like to do dana. Everybody likes to do dana because it's the easiest. And you want married, everybody wants married. Yeah. So a lot of people do dana and then they stop there. But slightly harder to do is sila. Because it's harder to do, that's why people don't keep the sila. But what is harder to do, the merit is more. So sila is more meritorious. And more meritorious than these two is bhavana. Dana and sila is what we call choi san, chai sin. It gives you worldly blessings. In next life, you want to become a Bill Gates, then you look after this too. But bhavana is what gets us out of samsara. This is kong tak. Dana and sila is hok tek, fok tak, worldly blessings. So bhavana development refers to two things. Development of your character and development of your mind. The Buddha said, if we want to be reborn in heaven, we have to change our character to that of a Deva or Devi, not by chanting Amitabha. You change your character over the years to become just like a Deva or a Devi's character. Automatically when you die, you are already a Deva or a Devi. In fact, before you die, you are already a Deva or a Devi. Those beings who have psychic power, they look into you, they will see, oh, this is a Deva or a Devi. But if they look into you, you have a ghost inside you, they cause you to have an accident, then you can become their boyfriend or their girlfriend. So, these first two things, right effort and right mindfulness, if you practice these two, you are developing your character. Because firstly, to develop our character, we have to get rid of unwholesome states and to develop wholesome states. This is right effort. But to do that, we have to constantly look inside. And that is right mindfulness. Watch our body actions, watch our speech, watch our thoughts, the three karmas. Then watch your feelings. If you become overheated, lose your temper, then you have to notice you have a bad temper, you have to change. If you have lustful thoughts, then you have to notice. Continue this way, seeing porn every night, then I will end up as an animal. And then feelings, and then our perceptions, and then our attitudes. Attitudes are very important. When you're a big boss, you tend to be proud and arrogant. And pride comes along with anger. You like to shout at people and all that. So the last is Dhamma. Dhamma is the best way to contemplate Dhamma is to listen. Listen to the Buddha's words. Because however much we contemplate, our wisdom cannot compare with the Buddha's wisdom. The Buddha's words are words of wisdom that we can never achieve by ourselves. But when we listen to the Buddha, it becomes so clear to us, the Dhamma. That is why we have to listen to the Dhamma. Before the Buddha appeared in India, there were very serious yogis who were willing to give up their life to cultivate, to get out of samsara. So they endured all kinds of ascetic practices, kursing, and they thought that is the way to purify their soul. But that was not the way. When the Buddha started on the spiritual path, he also did like that. Restrict his food, eat only certain types of food, and then wear only certain types of robes, etc. So finally he found that was not the way. So in India there were all these ascetics practicing so hard. Some of them they attained the jhanas and got psychic powers, but no right view. You could not find a single Arya. But after the Buddha appeared in India and he started speaking the Dhamma, then Aryans started to multiply, thousands and tens of thousands of Arya. So that's why listening to the Dhamma is so important. And then once we get right view, then we get the 5 factors of the Aryan Fourfold Path, and then we practice the 6 and the 7 to attain development of our character. Then this development of the character, practicing these 2 things, I said, is contemplation. And contemplation is vipassana. Vipassana during the Buddha's time is this. Because cultivation is something that we must do 24 hours a day. When we are sitting, we are meditating. When we are not sitting in meditation, we have to be mindful. That is why this vipassana is outside meditation. One nun told me, she asked a teacher once, she said, Sayadaw, why is it I notice your disciples, when they are meditating, they are very mindful. But when they are not meditating, they are not mindful at all. So you see, some people think you practice mindfulness only in meditation. No, you have to practice it 24 hours a day. It is because the Buddha's disciples practice 24 hours a day that they come to a stage where they are mindful 24 hours a day. And then they become Arahant. And after they become an Arahant, the Buddha said you cannot find any fault with an Arahant because he is mindful 24 hours a day. He did not come after he became an Arahant, Before he became an Arahant, he's already mindful 24 hours a day. Just like you want to go to heaven. It's not after you go to heaven only you become a Deva or a Devi. Now you have to become a Deva or a Devi inside. Then only you can go to heaven. So, when we contemplate, we practice this vipassana. Sometimes we call Neikwan, internal contemplation. Then we understand anicca, dukkha, and anatta. This impermanence, suffering, and non-self. If we understand the Dhamma, and then we see, compare with life every day, and then slowly we understand what the Buddha said is really true. Especially this dukkha. When you are sitting comfortably with your legs crossed, maybe in an aircon room, how can you see dukkha? But when your mother or your father passes away or your son is killed in an accident, then you really see dukkha. As monks, sometimes we see dukkha when we are asked to go for a funeral. When they take out the coffin, you see the whole family crying so unbearably. That is real dukkha. No dukkha can compare with the parting of someone you really love. Yeah? That you don't see in your meditation. So, this anicca, dukkha, and anatta, you realize it in everyday life. When you compare it with the words of the Buddha, what the Buddha has said and what you see, then you realize. So, in the suttas, the Buddha said, it's very important that we get rid of unwholesome states. What are the unwholesome states? For example, anger, being revengeful, arrogance, domineering, envy or jealousy, greedy, deceitful, having evil wishes, and then having wrong view, etc. So the Buddha said these unwholesome states will bring us to the woeful realms of rebirth. That is why it's very important to get rid of unwholesome states. And we want to develop wholesome states because this will bring us up. There is a sutta where a cousin of the Buddha, Mahanama, he came to see the Buddha. He said, Bhagawa, every evening I come to the monastery and I talk to the monks and all that. I listen to Dhamma. Every night I go back to the city. During the Buddha's time, the monasteries were forest monasteries. So he said, he walked back to the city in the darkness. He's afraid he might be killed by a mad cow or a horse or knocked down by a carriage, etc. He said when he's dying in that fearful state, will he go to a bad rebirth? Then the Buddha said, don't worry, Mahanama, don't worry. For a long time, you have taken refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, meaning you have listened to the Dhamma. And the Buddha said, the Dhamma will bring you, the Dhamma gives you a elevated mind. And that will bring you to a good rebirth. So no matter how you die, if your mind is elevated, it will bring you to an elevated place. That's why we want to cultivate ourselves every day. Our character is very important. Our character will bring us to the type of rebirth. For example, one old devotee told me that auntie had a very nasty character, very bad-tempered, envious, and always cursing the relatives because of maybe property division and all that. 2 days before she died, Dracula teeth came out. Long Dracula teeth came out. And 2 days later when she died, the teeth disappeared. Some monks say there's no such thing as lingun, soul, but I believe there is. They say there is no soul because they are wrong understanding of the meaning of the word soul. If you look in the dictionary, soul is defined as the spiritual part of man, often assumed to be permanent. It is only assumed to be permanent, it's not necessarily permanent. But the Christian soul is permanent. So they use the Christian soul and they say, there is no soul. The Buddha did not say there is no soul. The Buddha said there is no thing that is permanent, everlasting. Everything is impermanent, keep on changing. That's all the Buddha said. So we have inside us a soul, depending on your character. If your character is like this lady, fierce like a Dracula, immediately after she dies. In fact, before she dies, the fierce ghost is coming out already. Because it is coming out 2 days before she died. You can see her Dracula teeth. So there are some other cases where some people, for example, the person who slaughters pigs, those people who are their neighbors, they say a few days before that person dies, they start behaving like a pig, running around, squealing like a pig. They listen also, all the hair stand up. So this character is very important. Now, the last factor, Sama Samadhi, is defined as the 4 jhanas. If we practice the 4 jhanas, we are developing our mind. In the Majjhima Nikaya 108, Prabhu Ananda was asked what type of meditation is praised by the Buddha. And he said the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. And he said the type of meditation not praised by the Buddha is when you meditate and you cannot get rid of the 5 hindrances. In the sutta, the Buddha said, we are blur, we don't have wisdom because of 5 hindrances. And these 5 hindrances obsess our mind, envelop us. So we are enslaved by these 5 hindrances, and we don't have wisdom. So meditation is actually, from this sutta, you can find the purpose of meditation is to get rid of the 5 hindrances. And there's another sutta where it says that once you have attained even the first jhana, you have got rid of these 5 hindrances long term, not permanently, but long term. So unless you do some very evil karma like Devadatta, Devadatta cultivated the jhanas until he had psychic powers. But because there are some people, they meditate too much, they don't listen enough of the suttas, like Devadatta, or they don't pay attention. When you listen to the suttas, you have to pay careful attention. The sutta says, yoniso manasika, focus attention. And you have to examine the meaning also of the suttas, the words of the Buddha. Then only you can understand. So somebody like Devadatta, he didn't pay too much attention to listening to the Buddha's words. He wanted to meditate all the time. Good, he got psychic powers, but no right view. So, because of his arrogance, once, if you don't have right view and you attain psychic powers, that is very dangerous. The ego starts to balloon, becomes so big. He asked the Buddha to step down, let him take over the Buddha. His place. He said, Buddha is so old already. So Buddha scolded him. Said, who do you think you are? You want to take over my place? I never even asked Sariputta or Moggallana to take over. You are like spittle, the Buddha said in the Vinaya books. Spittle that people spit out. Said that of him in front of all the Sangha. So he kept that inside him, a grudge against the Buddha, and decided he wanted to kill the Buddha. Once the thought arose, he wanted to kill the Buddha, he lost all his jhanas, lost all his psychic powers. So unless that thing happens, once you attain jhana, you will have got rid of the 5 hindrances on a long-term basis. But one thing you must understand, a lot of people think that the 5 hindrances are sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry and doubt. No. Only when these 5 things become very strong and they obsess the mind, enslave the mind habitually, then they are considered the 5 hindrances. Once a person attains the jhanas, these 5 things go down to a very low level. So low that they don't obstruct you anymore. So the Buddha says you have eliminated the hindrances. So I like to give the simile of the lalang. If you walk through the forest or the jungle, you have 7 feet tall lalang. You try to walk through, you cannot see. If there's a tiger in front also, you cannot see. And then as you walk through, it cuts your hand, cuts your feet. So it's a big obstruction. But suppose you cut it down to 1 foot, 12 inches, there's no more obstruction. It is still there. You can see very clearly, 12 inches, it's no more an obstruction. So when you attain the first jhana, it's like cut down to 12 inches. When you attain the second jhana, it's like cut down to 8 inches. When you attain the third jhana, it's like 4 inches. When you attain the fourth jhana, it's like 1 millimeter. So little. That's why the Buddha calls the fourth jhana perfect samadhi. So, in the suttas, the Buddha said in the Majjhima Nikaya 31, once you attain even the first jhana, the Buddha calls it a supramundane state, superhuman, uttari manusa dhamma, a distinction in knowledge and vision worthy of the Aryans. And why does the Buddha call it a super mundane state or superhuman state? Because in the Majjhima Nikaya 26, the Buddha said, once a person has attained the first jhana, he has blindfolded Mara. He has become invisible to Mara. How is it he has become invisible to Mara? Our consciousness is in the sensual realm. We have in the world we have 3 realms: sensual realm, form realm, and formless realm. So beings in the sensual realm, we have sensual desire, and we have male and female. But in the form realm, it's unisex. No male and female. Once you have attained the first jhana, your consciousness has transcended the sensual realm into the Brahma heavens. Your consciousness is like Mahabrahma. But our Mara is in the sensual realm, so he cannot see you. When he looks into your consciousness, he cannot see. You've gone above him. That's why the Buddha calls it a supra-mundane state. And unfortunately, nowadays, some ignorant monks, they belittle the jhanas. They say, what's the use of jhana? When you attain jhana, you have no sati, no mindfulness. It just shows their ignorance. They don't know the suttas at all. So what is the Buddha's meditation? This, as the Venerable Ananda said, it is the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. What type of meditation did the Buddha teach? After the Buddha was enlightened, when he taught meditation, he taught Asubha meditation. 32 parts of the body. 32 parts is chanting the 32 parts of the body. Basically, head, hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bone, marrow, kidney, heart, liver, midriff, spleen, lung, bowel, entrail, gorge, dung, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tear, grease, spittle, snot, oil of the joint, urine. So you chant it forward and you chant it backwards. And there are two ways of chanting. If you want to cultivate samadhi, you chant fast. If you chant 32 parts fast, you can't think of anything. It's not like you chant Amitabha, Amitabha, Amitabha. You're still thinking of this, thinking of that. It's Amitabha. Because only one word doesn't anchor your mindfulness. 32 parts, not easy for your mind to run. So you chant fast, that is cultivating samadhi. If you chant slowly, you can cultivate vipassana that way. You chant one, and then you think about it. You chant another one, and you think about it. Last time I started to practice this, when I chant heart, liver, all this, it's hard to imagine. So what did I do? I asked the devotee, go to the market, go and buy from the market pig's heart, pig's lungs, pig's liver, all this. Then you touch it, you feel it, soft or hard, looks exactly like this. The human parts very much like the pig, So it's good to use the pig because it's very similar to human parts. So, Asubha. Now, after the Buddha's disciples practiced Asubha, some of them committed suicide. They loathe the body. Normally, when we look at someone, we say that person is beautiful or handsome. It's only skin deep. They say beauty is skin deep. Yeah. So you see the outside, it looks very nice, but inside, when you contemplate, you're dirty, got urine, got shit, got vomit, got pus, everything. So later, when some of the monks committed suicide, Venerable Ananda pleaded with the Buddha to teach another meditation. Then the Buddha taught Anapanasati. After the Buddha taught Anapanasati, the Buddha said, before his enlightenment, he practiced Anapanasati. After his enlightenment, he also practiced Anapanasati. So the actual Buddha's meditation is Anapanasati. So Anapanasati, it is said in the Anapanasati Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 118, the Buddha said, if you practice Anapanasati with unremitting mindfulness, you fulfill the 4 Satipatthana. So a lot of people think, they have the wrong view, they think Anapanasati is samatha meditation, nothing to do with Satipatthana. But actually, it fulfills the 4 Satipatthana. And in the Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 44, it is stated that the 4 Satipatthana are the basis of concentration. In other words, to attain samadhi, you must practice Satipatthana. And also, in the Anuruddha Samyutta, Aniruddha is one of the Buddha's Arahant disciples who had great psychic power. He could fly like a bird, he could walk through the wall, he had the heavenly eye, heavenly ear, all the psychic powers he had. And his psychic eye was so powerful, 1,000 world systems he could see so clearly. So they asked him, some of the monks asked him, what did you practice to attain such great psychic powers? What did he say? The 4 Satipatthana. So actually, if you practice Satipatthana correctly, you must attain jhanas. That's why there is a sutta in the Satipatthana Sangyutta where the Buddha said, a foolish, incompetent, unskillful monk practices Satipatthana but is unable to attain samadhi. If you practice Satipatthana and you don't attain samadhi, the Buddha calls that monk foolish, incompetent, unskillful monk. But the wise, competent, skillful monk, he practices Satipatthana, he will end up with the jhanas. That's why the 4 Satipatthana are called the basis of concentration. But you see, Satipatthana is actually not so easy to practice because it is said in the Satipatthana Sangyutta, a monk dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly aware, mindful, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. Similarly, he contemplates feelings, mind, Dhamma, having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. So what is this? Having removed covetousness and grief in regard to the world. When the 6 sense objects impinge on our 6 senses, for example, we see something, or we hear something, smell, etc. If it is, for example, you see a beautiful form, you want to possess it. For example, a man sees a beautiful girl, he wants that to be his girlfriend. And that is covetousness. Or you see good food, you want to eat. That is wanting to possess. And then if you cannot get it, grief will arise. So if you give up covetousness and grief, that means you don't want any more sensual pleasures. You turn your back on sensual pleasures, on worldly pleasures. That is a condition for practicing Satipatthana, I know. Not so easy to practice Satipatthana. That's why the Buddha asks people who really want to practice to become monks and nuns. Don't look for worldly happiness, look for spiritual happiness. How many people are willing to let go? But they want to practice Satipatthana. So, I talk a bit about this Anapanasati. In meditation, we have to sit, not necessary to cross your legs. You can sit like Burmese style. You can also sit in a bangku, you can also sit in a chair. You can also sit in the zafu, the meditation cushion which is high, and put your 2 legs behind, like in the bangku, in the stool. Then, normally when we meditate, we have to keep our eyes closed because we don't want to be distracted by sights, sounds, smells and all that. And then some people when they close their eyes, the mind wanders very, very wildly. Then you can half close the eyes, look like 10 feet away, half close. But you don't pay attention to what is outside. And then we have to be mindful of our breathing. And the Buddha said we have to be mindful of the breath. And mindful of the breath is not mindful of one point. Later books like the Visuddhimagga, they tell you to contemplate on one point. But not necessary. If you find that contemplating on one point suits you, it's okay. If you find that watching the breath as it goes in through the nostril, goes down to your abdomen, and come out through your nostril again, that is also okay. Initially, soon as you sit down, your body is still not calm. Your breathing is heavy. You can follow the breath down to your abdomen and out. But later, as the breath calms down, the breath becomes shallower, then you can follow it like to your lungs and then come out again. So this is also found in Hinduism. In Hinduism, they call it pranayama. And in Hinduism, they follow the breath. And we know in Hinduism, by following the breath, they attain jhanas. So when we put our attention on the breath, we use two factors. They're called jhana factors. One is vitaka, one is vichara. Vitaka is thought directed. That means as we meditate, if our mind runs away to your office or to your friends or to your family, you pull it back to your breath. Every time it runs away, you pull it back. That is using vitaka. And staying with the breath, putting your attention on the breath, that is thought sustained. The first one is thought directed. Direct it back to, you direct your thought back to your object, which is your breathing. And then sustain it on your breath. It's called vichara, thought sustained. You just use these two. And provided your karma is good, you don't have remorse over bad sila or anything, and your relations with people are good, you're happy. Being happy is a very important condition, to practice the spiritual path. You got to be happy. If you're not happy, you start to meditate. You find some people commit suicide after they meditate. They have a problem and they think they can solve it by meditation. They come to meditate and the problems keep on in their mind. And then after that, they commit suicide. So, only when you're happy, your mind can calm down. Your mind can calm down and you can attain this one-pointedness. So, keeping your mind on the breath is not so easy. So, you have to find the way that suits you. You find some teachers telling you to count your breath. So, breathe in, breathe out, you count 1. Breathe in, breathe out, you count 2. Up to 10, after that, you start again 1, 2, 3. That is one way. Sometimes it suits you. But sometimes, after some time, what suits you in the beginning, after some time, it doesn't suit you anymore. Another way is, for example, in Thailand, they like to say Buddho, Buddho. The breath goes in, you say Bud, and it goes out, you say Do. Bud, Do. You can say anything, in, out, in, out. You can also say Lo, Han, if you're Chinese educated. So that is to keep your attention on your breathing. But one thing, after some time, your mind again runs away. So one trick is to move your fingers slightly. When your breath goes in and goes out, you move either the right or your left finger slightly. Goes in, goes out, you move again slightly. You move so slightly, nobody notices. Why this is good is because every time your mind runs away, you are not aware that you are sitting here in meditation. How can I say, pang tua chia liao, where your mind has gone. But once you are aware of your body, immediately you are in the here and now. That's why in the suttas, the Buddha said, mindfulness directed to the body leads to the deathless. It's liberation. Because every time you are mindful of your body, you are in the here and now. So by moving there are some people, they use the beads, but beads very clumsy, everywhere you go must carry the beads. You find the beads very popular in Christianity, in Buddhism, in Hinduism, many religions. Islam also. So it's easier just to move slightly your finger. So if you have the good karma, you are able to follow your breath. Slowly, your mind becomes one-pointed. Initially, it is weak, but you start to feel two things, piti and sukha. Piti is delight, you're delighted. Sukha is bliss, you find a bliss rising inside. Then you keep practicing, if you can maintain your mindfulness on the breath longer and longer, slowly, these three things become stronger and stronger. This ekagata, one-pointedness of mind, and then piti and sukha, delight and bliss. And when you can maintain it, for example, half an hour, but then you have attained the first jhana. Once you are able to sustain your attention on the breath for some time, you have these 5 jhana factors: vitaka, vichara, ekagata, piti, and sukha. In the suttas, the Buddha said, if a monk can attain the first jhana, even for as short a time as a finger snap like that, the Buddha said he's really a monk. He eats the alms food to some purpose, and he listens to the teacher's word, that means the Buddha's word. So the Buddha always prays the first jhana. So this practicing meditation is not easy, especially to attain the jhanas. It's not easy. That's how I said, you have to give up covetousness and grief in regard to the world. Turn your back on worldly pleasures. No more going to China, no more going to Genting Island, Ajay, happy hour, all have to give up. Very few people can give up. So it's easier to listen to the suttas and try to attain stream entry. Now, the sutta say in Majjhima Nikaya 43, after right view is attained, 5 factors support the attainment of enlightenment. You need 5 more factors after right view to bring you to enlightenment. These 5, this first one is sila, dhamma savana, dhamma sakacca, samatha, and vipassana. Sila, we know. Sila, of course, we cannot keep 100%, but as we progress, we keep our sila better and better. Dhamma savana is listening to the Dhamma, listening to the Buddha's words especially. In the Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta 48, 7 characteristics of a Sotapanna are mentioned. And one of them is when a person hears the Dhamma, he is very happy. Very happy. And another one is when he listens to the Dhamma, he is inspired by it. In other words, a Sotapanna is a person who likes to listen to the suttas. If you don't like to listen to the suttas, no chance. Become like Devadatta, very good in meditation and no right view. So, Dhamma savana. Then Dhamma sakacca is discussion of the Dhamma. After you listen to the Dhamma, and then you can consult people who also have the same interest to clarify certain things. And then samatha is meditation, vipassana is contemplating in everyday life. So these 5 factors, keep on practicing these 5 factors, they bring you higher and higher. So I think I can stop here and invite questions.
One day, in the case of Angulimala, after killing 999 people, how did he overcome the remorse to practice
The Buddha must have taught him the Dhamma, and he must have attained stream entry, because he went from one extreme to the other extreme. Without attaining stream entry, he cannot be like that. It's just like our Buddha himself. When the Buddha in a previous life was a Brahmin by the name of Jyotipala, his good friend asked him to go and see the Buddha Kassapa. He refused. Asked him so many times, pull him also, he refused. Until finally his friend pulled him by the hair. He got a shock because his friend Gatikara is a pot maker, is a low caste. And he was a Brahmin, high caste. For a low caste man to pull a Brahmin by the hair, he can be killed, In India now, sometimes they cannot even step on the shadow of a Brahmin, Don't talk about pulling the hair. So his friend Gatikara got shocked. I said, "You dare to do this?" And our Bodhisattva, I said, "Yes." So his friend, this Brahmin, Jyotipala or Bodhisattva, he realized the Buddha must be something very special. His friend dared to risk being killed. So he went to see the Buddha. When he went to see the Buddha, he didn't respect the Buddha. His friend bowed to the Buddha and sat down. He just, hello. Sat down. And friend Gatikara explained to the Buddha, I said, "This is my very good friend, the Brahmin. He's a Brahmin, Jyotipala. Please, our compassion, teach him some Dhamma." So the Buddha taught him some Dhamma. After that, he wanted to become a monk. It shows he already attained a stream entry. Some people say a Bodhisattva is not an Arya. But I believe all Bodhisattvas and all Buddhas are past life Arya. So you see, from one extreme to another extreme is definitely attained stream entry already. So once he attained stream entry, he must be remorseful for all that he did. But he practiced very hard because if you kill somebody, the thought will haunt you terribly, Last time I had a devotee, I used to gamble with these gangsters and all that. So one of his friends was a gangster before, and he had killed 2 persons, knifed 2 persons to death in gang fight. So at that time, maybe he was 50-something, getting old already. So my devotee started to meditate. He also started to learn meditation. At first, he started meditation, he was doing okay. After some time, he said the mind became black and turned because of his bad karma. So imagine Angulimala, when he started to meditate, all these hundreds of people who are killed, all the memory come back to him, all the visions of blood and all these things. So it must have been very hard for him. You have to make the Buddha said, if you make the supreme effort, then you get the supreme result. So, and not only that, when he went on Pindapata, some people whose relatives were killed by him, they threw stones at him, walloped him with a stick and all that. He came back with his head bleeding, came to see the Buddha. The Buddha told him, you have to bear it. If you don't practice well, hell is waiting. So he knew, so he had to practice very hard and made it. It's because he had this ability, that's why the Buddha could see, and the Buddha went to rescue him.
But for this Jita, the householder, became the Anagami. Can you share how was his life like? How did he practice?
You want to become an Anagami? He, like some of the other Anagabins during the Buddha's time, even though they were married, they basically lived like a monk. They gave up their business to their wife to look after. And then his room, probably he make it like his cave, where his children, his wife is not allowed to enter. Only he will use that room. He meditate in that room. Recite the suttas, everything in that room. One thing good about Indians, even up to today, I still can find Indians who do that. There's some Indians, they keep one room in their house only for their prayers, for their chanting of the mantra, for their meditation. The children and wife not allowed inside. So because he practiced like a hermit, day and night, so that's why he attained the jhanas. So if you practice like that, you can. You see, like Chitta, he invites the monks to his house every day for alms food. Some of them come and eat in his house. So every time they come, you will ask them after the meal. You will ask them Dhamma questions. So something he himself does not understand, they may clarify for him. But sometimes he asks the monk, the monk cannot answer, he will teach the monk. See, it's so good. So it's by asking that you get to know. Some of you may have seen my sutta sharing March. When Anapanasati was dying. Anapanasati, is it's like the Bill Gates during his time. He supported most of the monks. It was said like 2,000 monks come to his house every day for alms food. So when he was dying, his favorite Arahant was Sariputta. So he asked somebody to send for Sariputta to see him. So Sariputta came to see him and asked him, how's your pains? Is it getting less? He said, no, pains are increasing. And he says, like somebody put a leather strap around his head and tightened, somebody carving up his stomach and all these things. So painful. Sariputta knew that he was dying. So Sariputta gave him a discourse on letting go of your 5 khandhas and all that. At the end of the talk, he cried. And Sariputta asked him, why are you crying? He said, I've been supporting the Buddha and the Sangha for so long, for so many years. I've never heard such a deep discourse. Then Sariputta said, householder, the Buddha teaches these deep discourses only to monks and nuns. See, the good, if you are born during the Buddha's time, you cannot hear so many beautiful suttas like now. 5 Nikayas, you can hear tonight, you can give for 30 ringgit. Cheap and good. Buddha's for how many years? 45 years of hard work. So we are very blessed. Some people don't understand. They say this is a Dhamma ending age. It's a Dhamma ending age. If you have no interest in the Buddha's words, then you have no chance to become a Sotapanna. In the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said, if a person does not listen to his words and attain stream entry, the Buddha said, you are not a follower of the Buddha. You are a Bahiro, external sect follower. So, it's very clear, whether you are a Buddhist or not, it's actually whether you listen to the Buddha's words. Because the Buddha called all his followers Savaka, whether monks or nuns or laymen or laywomen, all are called Savakas, hearers of his words. Never call them yogis, Because the first step is to get right view. After you get right view, then you will naturally will want to meditate. You want to keep your sila, etc. Practice vipassana.
I'll ask that those people who are soldiers, is it a very bad profession? Because it's a very bad karma.
They don't often get a chance to kill people. Unless it's war. And in a war, if you don't kill somebody, you'll be killed. It is the bad intention that creates the bad karma. If you kill a pig for just for the kick of it, shoot a pig, a wild boar, that is bad karma. Or you suppose now a robber comes into your house and he brings a knife and starts slashing your daughter or somebody, you may have to kill him to save your daughter. So your intention is very important. I have brought this article here is called Contemplation and Meditation. I only got a few copies here, English and Chinese. And this one we are coming out with a book. It's actually based on the Sutta Sharings from I think October, November, December, January and March. I put up some Sutta Sharings in the Facebook and our website. Quoting the suttas and explaining the difference between sati and satipatthana, which is also basically the difference between contemplation and meditation. interested, you can get. Any other question?
Please explain Kaya Viveka and Chitta Viveka.
Kaya Viveka, body seclusion, and Chitta Viveka, mental seclusion. Kaya Viveka is bodily secluded. Two ways. One is to live by yourself in a cave or in the forest, away from people. That is one way. Another way is like even if a monk lives in a monastery with a lot of other monks, he does not cakap banyak with other people. He does his work and then after he goes off to practice by himself. This is called aloofness. Aloofness. Not talking more than necessary. So this is Kaya Viveka. And Chitta Viveka is mental seclusion. Mental seclusion is meditation. When you are meditating, we are cutting off. We are closing our five senses. The world is the world of the five senses. So we are closing, we are not paying attention. Or the other way is when you are listening to the Dhamma, you're not paying attention to outside things. Keep listening to the Dhamma. There's also mental seclusion.
I have a question. Buddha said that Dhamma will last 500 years, but now more than 100 years, we still have the Dhamma and we still have the five Nikayas. But I know there's a lot of how to say wrong teaching. So, but they talk a little bit about it.
When the Buddha said the Dhamma will last for 500 years, what he means is the pure Dhamma, unadulterated Dhamma. So exactly 500 years after the Buddha's passing away, we find that the Dhamma has become adulterated, starting with, for example, Mahayana Sutras, and then Abhidhamma, and then commentaries. And the Buddha said in the Digha Nikaya, I think it's Sutta 29, the Buddha said that his teaching of the holy path is perfect and complete. Perfect and complete. If you think you want to add to his words, you don't see his Dhamma. In other words, you don't have right view. If you want to add to his words. If you want to subtract his words, also you don't see the Dhamma, you don't have vision of the Dhamma. You don't have right view. In other words, the people who wrote the later books, like the Mahayana Sutras and the Abhidhamma, and maybe the commentaries, they don't have right view. So if a person follows these later books, that person also does not have right view. The words the Buddha said, his teachings are perfect and complete, meaning you cannot make it more perfect. You cannot make it more complete. In other words, our Buddha Gautama is the most perfect Buddha you can find. Top class Buddha. Any other Buddha, at the most, they can only equal our Buddha Gautama. Cannot be greater than Buddha Gautama. That's why Sariputta, the Arahant with the wisest Arahant, he said he believes that our Buddha is the greatest. Also, you find when the Buddha went to the heavens to teach the Mahabrahma, their psychic power is very great, So because of their great psychic power, it's very arrogant. So the Buddha went to teach him, and then the Buddha knows it's very hard to teach such a person. So the Buddha showed greater psychic power, and he got astounded. He said he has never seen another ascetic so powerful psychic power as our Samana Gautama. Mahabrahma's life is very long, and yet in such a long span of time, he has not seen another Arahant or ascetic with psychic powers comparable to our Buddha Gautama. Our Buddha Gautama is not only great in teaching, in wisdom, but also in psychic power. And some people they don't have the wisdom to appreciate our Buddha. They want to wait for Maitreya Buddha to come. Maitreya Buddha cannot compare with our Buddha Gautama, probably. So we are doubly lucky. Just now I said, you have the great fortune to listen to the 5 Nikayas. Whereas you were born in India during the Buddha's time, you will not be able to listen to so many suttas. Secondly, now you have the most perfect Buddha's words to listen. That is hard to find. Thirdly, the Buddha said in the 91 world cycles he contemplated the past, only he found 6 Sammasambuddhas willing to teach. There are thousands of Buddhas, but they are Pachika Buddhas, not willing to teach. Only 6 Sammasambuddhas willing to teach in 91 world cycles. So if you miss this boat, you have to wait a long time further. The most important thing that we should do now is to get stream entry. That will ensure you are not reborn as a ghost with long teeth. If you miss the boat, you will be in samsara for such a long time. There will be many times you will be that Dracula with the long teeth.
Just to seek a clarification, you're saying that you have Pacheka Buddhas and there's Dhamma. So Pacheka Buddhas, you're saying that they were not willing to teach. My question is it they're not willing to teach or they are not able to teach?
No, they are able to teach.
They're able to teach, but they choose not to teach.
Yes, because once a person has become enlightened, he's thoroughly familiar with the Aryan Eightfold Path. Why can't he teach? Because later books will say funny things like this that they are unable to teach.
Yeah, I read it somewhere. They were saying that Sammasambuddha was able to teach because he could see
No.
what level they are.
You look at our Buddha.
If you're a Buddha, you're already all-encompassing.
Yeah.
So it's not, doesn't make sense.
You see, like our Buddha, in the Vinaya books, it is stated, after he was enlightened, then he contemplated the beings in the world. Then he saw beings are very hard to teach. People want to enjoy.
Teach the little last.
This morning somebody was telling me the husband and his friends, now 60 years old, going to Genting Highlands very often to go and enjoy themselves. Maybe when they were young they didn't enjoy enough. Now make up for it. So our Buddha, he contemplated and decided not to teach. But then Brahma Sahampati came to plead with him because this Brahma was previously a monk. So pleaded with him and then he looked again, then he found, there are some people like you all here interested in the Dhamma, then it's not easy to teach because you see somebody like Jesus, before his time, the teaching that was prevalent was an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You damage my eye, I will damage your eye, if not two. But Jesus said, if somebody slaps you on one cheek, you offer him the other cheek. It's a very different teaching, but for that, they killed him. There's a saying, a prophet is never recognized in his own country, something like that. Only after he dies, then people recognize him. It's always like that. Because if you start saying something which is not common, people cannot accept it. They are used to something. For example, there are many people, they have been practicing chanting Amitabha for 30 years. When you try to tell them, it's not the Buddha's teaching, they get very angry. So it all depends on our karma. You have the good karma, you will meet the right teacher. You have the bad karma, you meet the wrong teacher. I met my wrong teacher in the beginning. After staying with him for 3 years, then only I learned his real character. Kau ini macam, buat ini macam.
What happens if, let's say, you have to check into a hotel and that hotel particular room is haunted? Some people say you can see small children or what, and then as a lay person, what should we do? We cannot say that, oh, will you be there at the from Luangpor speaking.
Is speak at one. Normal words. I say, I come here to stay only 1 night or 2 nights. Please don't disturb me lah. After tomorrow I cannot work. So,
should we do any offering?
if he actually disturb you, offer some food. Because this ghost, most important is food. Yeah, offer outside the room lah. I say, you follow me lah. I give you some food. Don't disturb me. You give them, they won't disturb you. Make friends.
According to the Mahayanis, if you don't chant some mantra and all these things, the food will not be turned.
I don't believe so. Like we do transference of marriage. When we do transference of marriage, the Buddha said in the suttas that we have a lot of relatives in the ghost realm. They are waiting for us to help them. So those that are close to you, they will always be around you. For example, your parents, your grandparents, if they are close to you. So we are asked to do merit on their behalf. And I usually tell people, say if you want to do Dana to the Sangha on Sunday morning, then Saturday night, Friday night, Thursday night, at least you Tim Hyong and inform them that you're going to do on Sunday for them. Then on the day when you do the Dana, then you think of them. But you no need to mention the name. Just think of all my departed relatives in the ghost realm. Because only in the ghost realm we can help. Yeah, in other realms cannot help already. There's one sutta where the Buddha said, only if your relative is reborn in the ghost realm. But although the Buddha didn't say why, I believe because only ghosts can come back. If they are reborn in other realms, they cannot come back. So, because we tell them that we are doing the offering for them, once we give them the permission, they are expecting it, they will see the food. So everything, the world is mind-made.
So in that case, our Chinese, we often toilets, we offer the fruits and all these things. After that, we can eat or not?
If you want to, can. But normally, you cannot offer that to the monks. But like the Indians, they offer food for their departed relatives, then they burn, they don't take back and eat. So if you are offering to ghosts and all that, then I guess like Ching Ming, you should not take back and eat. But doing Dana is different. Dana, you are transferring the merit to them. You are not giving them the food directly, Giving food them directly is like pot tall, the shit goat. The ghosts, that time they put on the road. That one is different. That one you give them, you don't go and eat.
But the home or town, all those foods can eat.
Up to you.
Some of them I see actually quite a waste, they just throw away.
Altar you offer to who?
Ancestor, there's also the Buddha's altar, Guan Yin also. My family got the Guan Dai also. They used to throw away, I see, really waste, really wasted.
But they also ask
I don't think it's mentioned in the Theravada Sutta, is it? Is it mentioned?
I think I must heard about it somewhere.
Mahayana maybe. But anyway, this world is in the Buddha's teachings. This Nama-rupa is the world. Nama-rupa is what consciousness is conscious of. Once consciousness arises, we are conscious of the world. Yeah, and that is Nama-rupa. Rupa is the physical world. Nama is the mental world. Your thoughts, your feelings, your perceptions, your volition, etc. And other people's mental workings, all that. So, since the world is created by consciousness, it's not very different from your dream. At night when we dream, when we are dreaming, you don't know it's a dream. To you, it's very real. If somebody slaps you, it's also, you can feel it just like in normal everyday life. Yeah. So only when you wake up, you realize it's a dream. And there is what seems so important in the dream, when you wake up, is no more important. So in that dream, all the beings that you see is actually all created by your mind. Yeah. So in the same way, now the whole world, although we see individuals, it's all created by our mind. And our mind influences what we see, what we hear, we smell, etc. It's our karma. Because of your past karma, the world that is created now, the people that you see now, the people that you meet now, is the affinity from the past. But all this in the end, when you attain Nibbana, it's all like the dream ending, not real at all. That's why in the suttas the Buddha said, only Nibbana is real. The world actually is like a deception. That's why the Buddha said we have been tricked by the mind for a long time. We take it to be so real, so important. We think that this body is you.
Bante, with regards to the whether about traveling and festivals and your advice, besides that, can we do chanting like Metta Sutta at new places when we go? If these things exist or they don't exist, does it help?
These beings, unseen beings, they can read your mind. So whatever you think is important.
So at times, if they appear, partly you may have a connection factor. Just like at times you sleep, people may subconsciously, people may just come and ask you for transfer of merits. Then the next thing you know, the next day, somebody passed away who are related to you.
Can be. So if you know the chanting and you want to chant, it's okay. If you don't know the chanting, you just mentally talk to them.
Or verbally.
I used to stay in caves alone. And I stayed in a dark cave for 4 months. So I just tell them, I come here to practice. They don't come to take your place. Only temporary. Only. Whatever merit I have, share with you. Please don't disturb me. Don't let me see as well. So whether they disturb you or not depends on your karma. There's a cave on Penang Hill. I stayed for 7 years. Later, when I was not there, I handed the key to some other people to make use of it. They stay there and they said they see ghosts and all these things. I stay there, I didn't see. But I smelled, sometimes in the middle of the night, 2 or 3 a.m., when the ghosts go back, I smell a very nasty smell. So I know, but I just ignore. I learn from staying alone, if anything is disturbing, I don't pay attention, I can sleep. If I think of it, I cannot sleep. A few years ago in our monastery, in the middle of the night, I was surprised. A big stone hit the wall of my kuti. Boom, so loud. I fell down. I thought to myself, what happened? Either it's a robber trying to see whether there's somebody there, or there are some Indonesian workers around. Maybe they practice some mantra, can make the stone fly. Or whatever it is, I thought if I go out to see, it might be a bit dangerous. So I just ignore it and I just go to sleep. I don't think of it and go to sleep. Then I can sleep. If you think of it, I cannot sleep. So a lot of us we have mental suffering because we think of the problem. You keep thinking, you have mental suffering.
How to measure progress in meditation?
How to what?
How to measure progress in meditation?
Let go lah. Let go.
How to aware it?
How to be aware? The theory is very easy. Just keep your attention on the breath in, out, and don't miss any breath lah. Every breath, you must be aware every breath. Theory is easy, but practice is difficult because your mind will always be pulled away. But whatever you are attached to, you are thinking of your boyfriend, then your mind will go to your boyfriend. Thinking of your work, your mind will go to your work. That's why we let go. Become a nun is easier.
But mentioned meditation is not easy. Is it better for us lay people to pay more attention to learning the Dhamma, practice the Dhamma, and share the Dhamma?
Yes. I usually tell people, for lay people, if you're working, the best time is morning meditation, 5 to 7 a.m. That period. And after that you go to work. Because if you have a good meditation in the morning, it helps you the whole day. Your mind becomes stronger, you can take stress better. And if the boss scolds you also, you can take it better instead of getting upset. Then after you come back from work, spend more time listening to the suttas. Chanting. Chanting during the Buddha's time was not very important. Most of the chants that we do now was created later. During the Buddha's time, the monks seldom chant. Usually when the monks go to a house for dana, after dana they will give a short Dhamma talk. That is the blessings they give. The Dhamma talk. But nowadays a lot of monks don't know how to give a Dhamma talk, so they just do the chanting. No. You want to offer, you take a little bit, put one side lah. Don't offer what you are eating. If you want, put a little bit at the roadside or something. Or usually, like Buddhists, we like to offer to the Sangha because the merit will multiply. If you give a bowl of curry to the Sangha, you cook, then the merit will multiply, say, into a 1,000 bowls. Then you transfer the merit to your relatives, they give 1,000 bowls. So if you give a little bit, they will only get that little bit now. That's why many years ago when Bhante Suwano was in Penang, he told the devotees, he said, Ching Bing, no need to go to the cemetery to go and buy. Come to the monastery and then offer and then buy Kong Ma. Transfer the merit to them.
I can't offer to Mark every day. Then if let's say that my partner is active or something, then I want to try to help them, then it's not to do that. Because in Mahayana way they practice offer food before meals to follow.
As I said just now, you can put a little bit in the corner for them. But usually we don't do that unless we dream that they come to us for help. Then we do. Or we think of our departed relative. Then we do. Any other question?
One more question, please. If we have someone who is in a lot of pain, like they are suffering from cancer, when the pain comes, it's really horrendous. So when the pain comes and it's very painful, although it's a Buddhist, it says that the pain is not your pain, the body is not yours. But it's illogical at that time because it doesn't get seen. So what can we do for the patient?
I have a childhood friend who's now a doctor in Australia. He said they have this few ways. One is they practice Tai Chi, another one meditation, yoga and all that. So like meditation, you have to do it regularly so that the mind becomes stronger.
None of this. None of this. Don't practice any of this. It's a very lay person.
It's very hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. And watching them is very hard for us.
Yeah. You know, when you don't prepare for this kind of situation, when that situation comes, just like a lot of people, they don't prepare for death. When death comes, they are unprepared and then they get so upset and can't take it and all these things. It's your fault now, why didn't you prepare? You know, everybody knows that we have to die. Why don't we prepare for death? If you are prepared now, when the day comes, you go out with a smiling face. Because you have accumulated good karma. You know you won't be going to a bad place. The people who fear are those who never prepare themselves. They live an ordinary life. And when the time comes, they don't want to go. Or still, if you do a lot of bad karma, then when you start seeing Bu Tao Be Bin, Mao Tao Ma Min, however painful also, you struggle to live on. And some people like that, for months, they struggle to live on. Eventually, they still have to go.
There's nothing they do right.
Too late already. I tell people, we Siu Sing is to change our character. That takes at least 10-20 years, Even monks, I tell them, don't think you start wearing the robe, you're a monk. Yeah, inside you're still a layman. You dream also as a layman. Takes about 20 years before a monk actually changes inside from a layman to a monk. 20 years. And there's some even after 30, 40 years, they still disrobe. They haven't changed inside. Inside still a layman, even after 30, 40 years. Not been practicing the right way.
For example, we just transfer merit to relative or who want we transfer to them. It's still life, but they receive.
No, you must inform them. Inform them, then they must be happy to receive. If you inform them they are not happy, They think they silly son, give me the money, I go play mahjong better. And how they cannot receive? Okay? Come, we invite the devas and devis to rejoice with us. When we listen to the Dhamma, sometimes devas and devis will come. Itavata cha'amhi sambatang punya sampadang sabe deva sabe buddha sabe satta anumodantu sabha sampati siddhya sadhu sadhu sadhu.
Brothers and sisters, let us put our palms together and say sadhu for them. Very knowledgeable and very, I don't know how to say, but let us put our palms together and say sadhu. Sadhu.